Welcome back to the deep dive. You've given us the sources, and, well, our job is simple. Give you that shortcut to really knowing what's what. Today, we're focusing on a celebration that's all about devotion, specifically rooted in arguably the most powerful bond there is, mother and child. We are deep diving into Ahoi Ashtami.
That's right. And this isn't just, another date on the Hindu festival calendar. It's a very specific, quite intense expression of maternal sacrifice and prayer. We've gone through your materials, the history, the mythology, the really granular details on timings, rituals, and something I find particularly interesting, the surprising link the festival has to some complex astrological ideas.
Okay, so let's frame this right away for everyone listening. What's the core purpose of Ahoi Ashtami, and when does it actually happen?
The purpose is very clear, very focused. Mothers perform this fast, and the ritual specifically for the long life, the well-being, and the prosperity of their children.
Oh.
As for timing, it's tied strictly to the lunar cycle. It falls on the Ashtami Tithi, that's the 8th day of the Krishna Paksha, which is the waning phase of the moon, during the Hindu month of Kartik.
Ah, so it slots right into that really intense period leading up to Diwali, puts it in a pretty significant spot on the calendar.
Exactly. It's about a week before Diwali,
Gotcha.
give or take. And that also puts it just a few days after Karwa Chauth. Now, both are major fasts for women, but it's really important to see the difference. Karwa Chauth is primarily for the husband's long life, Ahoi Ashtami. That powerful spiritual energy shifts entirely, focusing solely on the children. It's like a dedicated moment of maternal intervention.
Right. And for anyone planning ahead, the sources we have confirm that for 2025, Ahoi Ashtami is on Monday, October 13th.
Correct. And the timing needs to be precise. The Ashtami Tithi itself starts at 12:24 p.m. on the 13th and goes until 11:09 a.m. on the 14th. All the key rituals need to align within that specific astronomical window.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more before we dive into the how of the celebration, the practical side. We really need to grasp the story behind it. It sounds powerful. What defines Ahoi Mata, and why is there this element of atonement involved?
Yeah, the legend is, well, it's quite dramatic. It really taps into some deep parental anxieties. It starts with a mother who had 7 sons. And one day, while she was digging soil, maybe for house repairs, maybe just for daily use, she accidentally did something terrible. She struck and killed a lion cub that was hidden there in the earth.
Wow, just one unintentional act, setting off this whole chain reaction.
Precisely. According to the story, that accidental killing immediately brought misfortune. Tragically, one after another, all 7 of her sons died untimely deaths. She was, understandably, completely distraught. She started this intense period of penance, fasting, praying. She even painted an image of the cub and its mother on the wall, expressing her deep regret, her pain.
So her prayers weren't just bring them back, but also a genuine plea for forgiveness for the life she took.
Absolutely. Her sincerity was key. Her relentless prayers, her deep remorse eventually reached the divine. Goddess Parvati appeared to her, but in the specific form of Ahoi Mata. Recognizing the mother's penance and her pure heart, Ahoi Mata forgave her, and then in this incredible act of divine power, she restored the lives of all 7 sons.
And that's where the name makes perfect sense. Our sources highlight that Ahoi literally means that which prevents harm. It directly signifies that moment of divine protection for the children.
Exactly. It connects the myth directly to the ritual people perform today. The core idea is that sincere devotion, real penance, can overcome even serious karmic consequences. So the festival is built on these ideals: sacrifice, that profound maternal love, the need for forgiveness, and just holding on to faith. That's what gives the fast, the vrat, its rigor.
That link between the ancient accident and the intensity of the modern ritual feels really important. It turns the fast from just a rule into this ongoing act of, well, protective penance.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. If you understand the legend, the discipline involved in the ritual makes complete sense.
Okay, let's shift gears then to the practical side. We've got the intense devotion established. How does the Puja vidhi, the actual worship procedure, translate that into practice? Especially thinking about those strict fasting rules you mentioned.
Right, the observance is very structured. It starts early, before sunrise. Devotees wake up, take a ritual bath, clean the prayer space thoroughly. The centerpiece is usually a kalash, that's a pot, often clay or silver, filled with water. It's placed near an image or a drawing of Ahoi Mata, sometimes drawn right on the wall.
And connecting back to the story, do people include symbols from the legend?
Yes, absolutely. That narrative connection is vital. Many families will draw 7 dots around the image of the goddess. Those dots are there specifically to symbolize the 7 sons Ahoi Mata brought back. It's a constant visual reminder of the Story, protection, restoration.
Okay, and then the fast itself, the vrat. You said it's strict.
It's remarkably demanding. Mothers observe what's called a nirjala vrat. Nirjala, it means without water. So they abstain from both food and water for the entire day.
Wow, no water all day.
None at all. It's a significant act of self-denial, willingly undertaken. It symbolizes the mother's readiness to endure hardship for her children's sake, echoing that original penance from the story.
That is quite a commitment for any mother. So when does this intense day culminate? When is the main event?
The main focus is the evening puja, and it has to be done during a specific, very auspicious time window called the muhurat. For 2025, our sources say that window is pretty tight, 5:53 p.m. to 7:08 p.m. Indian Standard Time. This puja is really the spiritual high point of the day.
What goes into that evening ceremony? What kind of offerings are needed?
There are specific offerings that signify abundance and blessings. You have the standard things like rice, flowers, sweets, fresh water, but also specific auspicious foods are often prepared things like kheer, which is a rice pudding, fruits, wheat grains, jaggery, marigold and hibiscus flowers seem particularly favored. And critically, during this puja time, the Ahoi Ashtami katha, the story we just discussed, must be read or told to everyone gathered.
So reading the story together becomes that kind of psychological anchor, maybe? Helps maintain focus through the long fast?
Exactly. It refocuses everyone on the purpose of divine protection, rather than just the physical challenge. And another key part is charity. Giving donations, especially things like food or useful items to children or other mothers, is believed to amplify the blessings you receive.
Now, the moment everyone observing the fast is waiting for breaking it, when does that happen? What are the specific timings?
Okay, so traditionally, the fast is broken after the stars appear in the sky. That signals the end of the day's main spiritual effort. For 2025, star sighting is estimated around 6:17 p.m. IST. But importantly, before the mother eats or drinks anything, she first has to offer water to the stars. It's a final act of reverence.
We mentioned star sighting times vary by location. Without getting lost in listing every city, what's the general pattern people should be aware of?
Yeah, it generally follows sunset. So stars will be visible earliest in the eastern parts of India, maybe around 6:08 p.m. As you move west and north, it gets progressively later. Places like Delhi or Jaipur might be closer to 6:2 p.m. Basically, you follow the specific local time for your area.
Okay, that makes sense why the stars are the usual signal. Because waiting for the moonrise, which some traditions apparently do, would mean breaking a no-water fast extremely late.
Oh, definitely. Moonrise during this time of the Kartik month is often very late, maybe around 11:20 p.m. IST, or even later. So,
Yeah.
yes, the star sighting provides that earliest possible, ritually correct time to conclude what is a very intense fast.
And while this feels very much like a home-based family tradition, are there specific temples or places strongly associated with the Ahoi Mata where people might gather?
That's a good point. While the home ritual is really central, yes, many temples do hold community pujas. There's an Ahoi Mata Mandir in Delhi that's apparently quite famous for its Ashtami celebrations.
Yeah.
But beyond that, the practice often connects to the wider tradition of goddess worship. Devotees might offer special prayers at major Shakti Peeth temples like Kamakhya or Jwalamukhi. They associate Ahoi Mata's protective power with that broader divine feminine energy, especially if they're seeking blessings for their children's safety.
Interesting. That integration of a specific tradition with the larger pan-Indian goddess worship really anchors its significance. Okay, let's move beyond the how into the why territory, the deeper dive. What does your synthesis of the sources tell us about the underlying benefits? You mentioned health and astrology earlier.
All right, if we look at the bigger picture, Ahoi Ashtami seems to work on several levels at once: physical, psychological, even cosmic. From a health perspective, the discipline of the fast itself is often seen as a form of spiritual cleansing, yes, but also physical detoxification.
Yeah.
It gives the body a rest, a chance to purify, which aligns with some ancient Ayurvedic ideas.
And the mental focus required for the day, the prayer, the meditation that must play a role too.
Absolutely. That emotional balance is considered really important. The devotion is thought to foster mental clarity, a sense of calm, resilience, and the fact that the whole family often comes together for the evening puja. That definitely strengthens family bonds through that shared collective experience.
Now, this is where I think it gets really fascinating, bridging this ancient myth with cosmology. It seems incredible that a story about a mother, a lion cub, and a goddess connects directly to complex ideas in Hindu astrology.
Yes, this is where you see the real depth, the layers in these traditions. Observing Ahoi Ashtami is believed to be a powerful remedy for something called putra dosha, or Santana dosha. Now, dosha basically means an affliction or an imbalance in the astrological chart. In this specific case, putra, or Santana, refers to progeny children. So it relates to difficulties concerning having children, or their health, their well-being, which astrologically might stem from past karma or challenging planetary positions in one's birth chart.
So the mother's intense devotion and penance during Ahoi Ashtami is seen as a way to sort of counteract or lessen these astrological challenges related to her children.
That's the core idea, yes.
Yeah.
It's considered especially beneficial if someone's birth chart shows difficult placements involving the shadow planets, Rahu or Ketu, particularly when they are located in the fifth house of the horoscope.
Okay, for listeners who follow astrology, we should probably quickly touch on why the fifth house is key here.
Right. In Vedic astrology, the fifth house is universally understood to govern children, progeny. It also relates to intellect, creativity, past life merit, essentially, the potential for future generations. So if you have disruptive influences like Rahu or Ketu positioned there, it's thought to require strong remedial measures. And since Ahoi Ashtami is all about invoking divine maternal protection for children, it's seen as the perfect counteraction.
So the ritual itself becomes almost like a spiritual technology. It's designed to leverage divine help to correct astrological imbalances that affect the very thing Ahoy Mata protects, the child's life and well-being.
That's a very accurate way to describe it. And to really tap into that protective energy the sources stress using specific prayer, devotees are often encouraged to chant the mantra Om Thrim Ahoy Nama 108 times during that evening puja. It's a direct invocation, asking for blessings and protection from the goddess. So when you pull it all together, what does it mean? Ahoi Ashtami is really this multi-layered tradition. It's a powerful, deeply heartfelt expression of a mother's prayer. It embodies faith, love, unwavering devotion. It's a dedicated annual point of sacrifice and spiritual focus, setting a kind of high spiritual tone that then leads into the bigger celebrations of Diwali.
And as we wrap up our deep dive today, here's something final for you, the listener, to think about. We've seen how this festival links a story, an ancient mythological accident and divine intervention directly to the placement of specific celestial bodies, Rahu and Ketu, in modern astrological charts. The belief in ancient maternal sacrifice becomes this precise, prescribed remedy for planetary issues potentially thousands of years later, which raises a really interesting question. How do these incredibly complex, detailed traditions manage to maintain such profound spiritual and practical relevance across huge spans of time and through so many changing cultural and even scientific contexts?
That's an excellent point to ponder. It really highlights the enduring power of myth to shape not just belief systems, but actual lived, disciplined practice.
We'll leave you with that thought. Catch you next time, equipped with new knowledge from the deep dive.